Okay, well, this is the side entrance. This is where we used to come in when I was a kid from recess. They had a line actually painted along here, and each class had the line up behind its number, because each class had its own number. There's the old convent, and each class had its own number, the number of the class, you know, grade 1, 2, and so on. You had the line up in single file, girls on the left, boys on the right, and then we were marched in to the school, single file. And there'd be a nun standing just inside the door, and generally it was a nun, and we used to say good morning to her as we came in. And if you were a boy and you were wearing your hat, she'd put her arm out in front of you, and she'd pull your hat off your head and hand it to you. I remember that. But anyway, this is the old convent. And this is where we used to go to the back field. Now, it used to be there was a fence here and stuff, and we went up the laneway on this other side of the fence. There was nothing in here. This was just empty space. Well, actually, this was a backyard. There used to be a house there, and I think this was the backyard of the house, if I remember rightly. And there was an old barn there behind the house, an old wooden barn, and it used to get struck by lightning all the time. But yeah, this was our playground. And the garage for the convent actually used to be right here. That building wasn't here at the time. The garage for the convent used to be there. And up this way, the nuns used to drive in through here to get to their garage. And all in here at that time was just a field. You can see they got a skating rink in there now. That's the house there that my Aunt Verna and Uncle Bill lived in, my great Aunt Verna and Uncle Bill. That's the back of their apartment right there on the other side of the chimney. Verna stayed there until she passed away in 1994. I see they boarded up the windows here. That's a new development. Anyway, but yeah, this was the old convent. It changed quite a bit. Like I say, the entrance is different and stuff. Now, that building there is the rectory, or the priest house. That's still what that is as far as I know. And then, of course, you can see the church on the opposite side of it. We'll just go up here. Yeah. Well, if that weren't so ugly, I get a picture of the front entrance, but it's pretty ugly looking, so I won't bother. It's different now than it was when I was young. They say you can't really go back, and they're right. You can't, you know. And maybe that's a good thing, really. Now, none of this was here back then, all these fences and stuff. I remember one of our caretakers, we had two caretakers here, Tom Kerr and Ed Muldoon, and they were both drinkers. And Tom Kerr, well, Ed Muldoon actually, was cutting the grass in through here in the springtime. I remember when this happened, just with an old push mower, you know, an old Briggs & Stratton push mower. And he ran over a Coca-Cola can. And back then, you know, Coca-Cola cans weren't aluminum. They were made out of heavy steel. And any people my age or older will remember the old steel Coca-Cola cans. Anyway, he hit that, and it stalled the lawnmower. The blade hit it, and I guess it must have got jammed up against the inside of the deck or whatever, and it stalled the lawnmower. You know, the old stuff, even a disposable can that soda came in was pretty tough in those days. Anyway, it stalled the lawnmower. Well, he reached underneath and to pull the can out, and he lost his thumb. I remember that. That was Ed Muldoon, caretaker here. But this is the principal's office here, at least it was when I was young. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, the church is a beautiful building. It really is. But anyway, old school hasn't changed a whole lot. Just windows and doors and things are different, and a lot of stuff outside is different. Fences and things that weren't here when I was a kid. But otherwise, it stayed pretty much the same. Here's a remnant of the old days up here. Like I say, these used to all be heavy wooden doors, you know. St. John's Separate School. That's what it was called when I was young. Separate school. Yeah. These railings weren't here. This pavement's all been redone and stuff, but you can imagine over the course of 50 years it would need to be. But still, it's basically looks pretty much the same as it did, just with a few small changes. Anyway, I'm going to get a picture of the old store, and what I'll do is I'll put a picture of it as it looks now, and I'll put a picture of it how it looked when I was a kid beside it on the community part of the channel. All right, we'll talk later.